Hello, welcome to another video on this little locomotive. I've got the decoder now running and working pretty good. I'm satisfied now with what I've got. The decoder, the LDG 34 Plus from Tom's Electronic. I got it to work now, and I did what they suggested, and I had to do some stuff to the motor in order to get it to work, and that involved putting in capacitors and inductors to filter out any noise from the motor to the decoder. And it was said in the manual that you needed to keep the suppression circuit, the inductor circuit or anything like that on the motor if you hook it up to from analog, if you make it to digital. At first I didn't do that and it didn't work altogether well. Now it works. I made inductor coils, and at the end of the video I'll show it to you. And because yesterday was a nice day, lovely day, I put the locomotive on the track in the garden, and I'll show you on a piece of test track in the garden, and I'll show you and I let you hear the sound it makes now. And yeah, that's it. I have changed some settings, and I did some further modifications to this little loco, and I'm pretty pleased now. It runs without a noticeable hum, so I will show you. Setting 1, it's a little bit fast, but you only hear the whine of the motor now. The motor gear or the motor frequency setting in CV9 is now 1 and not 0. Also, what I did, I put in some coils, inductors, and it seems to work. So it's looking good now for this decoder. I will show you how I did what I did, and I will draw a schematic. So come to you that in a few moments. So here is a schematic. This is the motor. These are the connectors and the brushes. This is the outer case of the motor. And what I did with this motor, I soldered a wire capacitor here, 10 microfarad, and here also one 10 microfarad from capacitor or from brush holder to the case of the motor, and here it's exactly the same. Also, I put this capacitor over the two collectors, and they are 47 microfarad. That's what I first did, but I did put in some inductors here, and it said that in the not in the manual of the decoder, but it said that on the website, and I will put a link in the description down below. So these two inductors, they were on the original circuit board that came with the locomotive, but yeah, I lost it. I cannot find it anymore. It is over, I think, 16 years ago when I did that conversion to digital, so it got lost. This is the schematic: motor, 2 capacitors on from the brush to the outside of the motor, the metal of the motor, 1 across the 2 connections, and 2 inductors in line with the motor wires. So this wire and this wire go to the decoder. I'll show you how I made the inductors. I made the inductors from an old coil, inductor coil, suppression coil, from a microwave. So this is nice and beefy wire. And I uncoiled it. As you can see, there was the same coil on this side. And that is what I used. And this wire is roughly about 1 millimeter thick. Now I coiled it up using a screwdriver, and I just put my finger on, and then I wound it around. Try to keep it in shot. And as tightly together as I could. So I just wound it around the screwdriver until I had about 9 coils. This wire is insulated, and it feels that there's a nice, it's not going all together well, but okay, bear with me. Just wrap it around the screwdriver until you have the desired coils. Take it off, and then you can make it and put it in series with the wire. So I did that in the loco. I'm not gonna show it to you because then I have to take it apart again. I'm not gonna do that. I'm a little bit lazy. So just now you have to cut off the excess, and then you can scrape with a sharp knife the insulating enamel lacquer off, and then you can solder it on one side to a wire, and the other side I did solder to the connector on the motor block. So it's not directly on the motor, but it's on the connection of the motor block. So that's it, how I made the coil, and you just scrape off the enamel on both sides, put a little bit of heat shrink on a piece of wire, solder the wire on, slide the heat shrink over it, and yeah, shrink it, and the other one went onto the connector to the motor block. So I just slide that on. That's how I did it. Thank you for watching this video, and hope to see you in the next in other videos. And yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments, and if you want to see more videos, then please subscribe. Thank you and goodbye.